Hey, welcome to the Shepherd's Grill. Today we're doing smoked turkey quesadillas. So let me gather everything up and I'll be right back. All right, so what are we gonna need for this cook? We're gonna need a smoked turkey breast, of course. We're gonna need some Mexican style cheese blend. You can use Monterey Jack or whatever you want. And then, of course, we need tortillas. And these are just the big Mission flour tortillas, the burrito size. And they seem to work the best. So what we're gonna do is this counter also doubles as a cutting board since it's a butcher block. We're gonna cut up this turkey breast I smoked up a few days earlier. So we're gonna slice it pretty thin, and then we're gonna just kind of chop it up into chunks is what we're gonna do. And if you guys haven't ever had a smoked turkey before, they're absolutely wonderful. I seasoned up this turkey when I did cook it with, I used Kinder's mild barbecue rub, and I also injected it with Tony Chachere's injectable Creole butter. So now I've basically got the turkey breast back the same, so now I'm just gonna go over it the other way. I'm just gonna slice it down. So I basically chopped it down a little bit more. You could go a little bit finer than this if you wanted to. And I think I might actually. You can also tear it apart with your fingers if you want to do it that way as well. There's no wrong or right way to do it. There's no hard and fast rules in the world of cooking. Cooking is just an experiment. Okay, let's put the knife over here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab a flour tortilla. Just going to plop it down. You can use any kind of tortillas you want, whether I've seen some people use corn as well. So you're just going to grab some cheese and kind of spread it on half of the tortilla, and you're going to see why in a minute. Okay, that looks about good. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add some meat to it. You can use as much or as little as you want. Some people love a lot of meat in it. Some people not so much. So you do it the way you feel like doing it. So now we're gonna flip the tortilla back on itself and give it just a little pat down so it holds there. So I'll see you guys over at the grill. All right, so what we have here is we have a griddle. It's an old commercial stove. And I've sprayed the griddle part with Pam. If you don't have a griddle, that's just fine as well. You could always use a frying pan. You can use a electric griddle, non-stick one. And some of the newer stoves, they come with a strip griddle right in the middle and the burners are on the side. So you guys go ahead and do it whichever way works best for you. So I'm gonna pick up this quesadilla and we're gonna stick it on the griddle. Don't worry about if some of the cheese falls out on the side, that's all right as well. But another reason I use Pam on the griddle is because it gives the tortillas a nice golden brown crust. So you're gonna leave it there just till you start seeing some of the cheese melt. So I would say 1 to 2 minutes. And then you're just gonna very carefully flip it over and then let it get nice and golden brown on the other side as well. So once the cheese is melted all the way through the quesadilla, you should be good to go and you can take it off. You just have to keep your eye on it. You know, so if you kind of lift up a corner here, you can go ahead and take a peek. And also the reason I put Pam on there is because I can slide this thing around the griddle as much as I want. So I've got a low side, a medium side, and a high side here. So I've got 3 different heat zones. So this burner is off, but it's still, you know, conducting heat over to the other side. And no, I do not have superhuman strength to avoid being burned. I'm wearing cotton gloves under my rubber gloves. It just makes it a little bit easier than messing with a spatula constantly. So, okay, we're getting to the point where I can start doing the first flip on it. I'm probably gonna flip this thing 2 or 3 times. And if your tortilla doesn't line up perfectly, don't worry about it. This one obviously didn't, as you can see right here. Don't worry about it. It's just, you know, cooking's not supposed to be perfect. And that's just how things are at the time. But if you notice, the tortilla has started taking on a nice golden brown color. And if you look in through the sides, you can see the cheese is starting to melt. So you can put it anywhere you want to along the griddle. I'm just trying to keep the tortilla from burning on one side before the other side gets cooked. And also when you see the tortilla starting to bubble up too, that's a good indication of when it is time to flip this thing over. So it's starting to brown on this side too. And when you start seeing cheese start melting, that's when you know you're gonna have to start flipping it a little bit more, or just paying a little bit more attention to it. So let's flip this over on the other side again. Just don't want it to burn, like I said. But we are getting there. You can't open the tortilla anymore because the cheese is starting to melt. Just stick it over on the high side for a couple minutes. So this stove was made back in 1940 something, mid 40s, maybe early 50s. And the griddle works great for stuff like this, but you know, it's a World War II era relic. So we have a new stove that's going to be coming in here anyhow, and then we're going to figure out the griddle situation. But if this stove could talk, it could tell you, you know, how many cooks it's done and everything. You know, I'm cooking right now at the church, and we do a lot of, you know, corned beef dinners, fundraisers, things like that. A lot of other people use this griddle as well, or the stove. Comes in handy on our pancake dinners and everything. So this is pretty much melted all the way straight through. And you can try to lift it up, but you're not going to be able to. So I'm going to go ahead and call this about done. And I will meet you back over at the cutting board. We're going to cut. I'll show you guys how I cut this thing up. Okay, so we're back at the cutting board. I let the quesadilla cool down somewhat. So now what I do is I usually just cut right down the middle. And a sharp knife absolutely helps with this. You can also use a pizza cutter. So I'll put one on top of the other, and I'll cut it down the middle again. Helps you hold on to the thing. So this is what it looks like when it's done and it's all through. So hey, doing the quesadillas like that is a really good way to do, you know, get rid of your leftovers that you have. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You can use anything you want to cook them in. It doesn't have to be a griddle, doesn't have to be, you know, frying pan, whatever. You guys can do it whatever, which way you want. And as far as stuffing and the cheese goes, you can use whatever, you know, stuff that you want to inside there. You can put veggies in it. You could put, you know, beef, you know, steak, chicken, turkey, obviously. I've even gone so far as to do fish before in it. And it's just a really, really good way of getting rid of leftovers. Makes a real tasty meal, tasty snack. So you guys give it a try. Don't be scared to try some stuff. Cooking's a big experiment. So for the Shepherd's Grill, I'm John. I'll see you guys later.